It's Melzario with Melzario Design. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. This is part 6 of part 10 3D CAD design series. Just doing tutorials for those who are looking to get into CAD design. This one's going to be a bit more difficult than the previous one. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so I like to note that I'm using a Windows computer, so all of my hotkeys and clicks corresponds to the will correspond to the operating system. Also, all of the drawings the dimensions for all of the drawings are in metric, in millimeters. So when you have the program open, before you do anything, you want to go down to your document settings, left click, and it'll allow you to change it to centimeter, millimeter, all that you see over there. So we're going to stay with millimeter, and you see I have it set as default. So I have to do it every time I open a new document. Alright, so we're going to go up to create sketch. Okay. And we're going to do, let's see, what will be the quickest way to do this? So if you look at the drawing, and I like to note also that I have all of my drawings on my portfolio page on my Behance website, portfolio website. So I have that in the link also. So if you look at it, the best way to go about this will be to start with a side profile and then extrude outward. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to the front, left click it, left click the face, and we're going to do the width, which is 78 millimeters. Okay. The height of the part, well, the platform that the all of the design elements sit on is going to be 13 mil. Okay. And then will be even easier too. You could do it like this instead of doing like line segments. You can do just a rectangle, a 2-point rectangle. So you go to the origin, you left click it. The first dimension will be 78 for the width, and for the height you can do 13, like that. That's another way to do it too. If you're doing CAD as, you know, a job or a career or whatever, I know typically they want you to be as quick and as efficient as possible, so something like that will come in handy. You do the same thing, the width is still the same, but the height this time is going to be 90. So it's going to be, let's see. All right, so 13 and then 90. Click that, press enter, and we're going to trim, and we want to get rid of these extra segments. So left click, and finish the sketch. So if you click on the little house in the little corner, it's going to take you to isometric, and we want to extrude outward. So go to extrude, left click it. Right, and you see it's starting to have some shape. Now, the length of this part is going to be 126. Okay, go ahead and press enter. All right, so now we have something to work with. Okay, so we want to break this down. We try to work from macro into micro. So largest surfaces, you want to break it down first if you can. Let's click on this face so we can get most of our ID ODs in, which would be inside, outside diameters. So you want to click on a face. It's going to highlight blue, create sketch, and it's going to allow us to draw right on the face. I like to project. So if you go down to create, go down to project and include, and you want to project this face here. That's going to allow us to connect our segments to like different points that already existed on that face. So you want the first point we're going to do, the first ID I should say we're going to do is the corner one, which would be 19 millimeters over and 25 millimeters down. Again, a quick way to do that, you want to draw a construction line type is going to be construction. So you see I have my sketch palette open. You want to go over to line type, highlight construction, and click on it, and it's going to be highlighted. 2-point rectangle. We're going to start from this corner. Click over. So the first dimension that you see highlighted is going to be 19 over. The second one is going to be 25 mil down. That's going to give us this that center point for our inside diameter. All right, so let's do the same thing on the other side. All right, and you see it highlights 19 over, 25 down. Same thing. You can mirror it from one side to the other, but then you would have to do like a line at the midpoint from this side to that side. So it depends. You know what? We'll go ahead and do that anyway as a reference point. All right, so let's turn off the construction line, center diameter circle, and the diameter, inside diameter for this is going to be 18 mil. We want to do the same thing here. Okay, now let's see, what will be the next step? Okay. All right, so let's do the top. You probably see that slot there is like a radius slot, or like a, yeah, it'll be like a half diameter slot. It's 9 millimeters, which is the radius of 18, which would be, you know, so the diameter will be 18, radius 9. So right at that midpoint I drew there, we want to do create center diameter circle, click right on it, and we're going to type in 18. The reason we're doing that is because we're going to trim away the top half of this this circle here. Let's see if it'll let us do it. Yep. All right. That way, when we go to extrude, we can just extrude through that top portion, you know. So what we're going to do now, let's see, press enter. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing we want to do, let's see, is draw that larger IDOD. All right. So you see how I have that midpoint there? You see it's going to come in handy right now. What you want to do, the center point of that larger IDOD is 38 mils from this platform here, right? So what you want to do, go here, drag it up, you'll find the midpoint. Chances are that's not, as you can see, like with the overall height of, let's see, 13, yeah, that's not even half of the overall height of the part. So what you want to do is draw a construction line. So we're going to go back over to line type, construction line. Instead, we're going to do a segment, and from that point at the top of the base, this base here, you want to drag it up, and the center point is going to be 38 mil. So type it in, press enter. Let's see if it's doing it right. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go back to center diameter circle, but let's turn off this first. Let's turn off the construction line. Okay. We're going to go to that we just drew, and the inside diameter is going to be 32. Type that in. You want to go back to that center point and do the OD, which is going to be 50. Press enter. All right. Now we have the IDOD. Next, you want to bring it all together, right? Because we're going to do some extrusions. So if you go to the top here, the width of this segment, this new segment, is going to be 10. Okay. Press enter. You want to do the same thing over here. Enter. All right. Now, since you have those two points, you want to just drag it down. So you will do a line segment and just drag it down and it should hit that intersection. Do the same thing here. It's going to hit the intersection. The cool thing about this program is snaps and locks and stuff like that, so it does make everything a little bit easier to work with. Now we're going to round off this edge here, right? Now it's a couple ways to do this. You can go up to fillet, choose this line segment, that line segment, but you see it grabs onto the construction lines we just did, so we can erase those. We don't need those anymore. Okay. All right, so we did a projection, so technically we would have to draw new lines over here, which wouldn't be an issue. So we'll do a line here from this corner. We're going to drag it over to that point, and from that corner we're going to drag this over to that point. Do the same thing, drag it down, drag it down. So we essentially recreated the lines that were already there. But the reason we're doing this is because we have to, again, we're going to extrude, we're going to cut away some of the material to create that radius, which is 25 mil. So you can put it here. Let's try this arc here. Okay. All right, there it is. Now that really, I don't know, that looks right, but let's see what happens when we go to this center diameter circle. Okay, and do 25 mil. I'm sorry. It'll be 50. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, that's not going to be right. Okay. So what we want to do, let's back up. So let's stick to our original plan, which is to make this fillet. There you go, 25. Okay, that's how it's supposed to look. All right. Let's see. Yep, that looks right. I don't know, it looks weird. On the original drawing I did, I believe I took, let's see, give me 1 second. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. All right. So what we'll do, we create a radius with the fillet tool. So let's go back. 25. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. 25. All right. So I was going to get rid of that confusion that we have there. Now, let's see. You know what else we can do? That bottom portion that's right below this IDOD, let's go ahead and draw that in right now, because we're going to have to extrude that too, and it'll be easier to do it while we're drawing on his face. That way we can extrude and just cut away. We can loft and cut away as necessary. So what we're going to do, that middle section there right below this OD, is going to be overall width of 15, right? So we're drawing off a center line. We're going to do 7.5, which is half of 15. So you want to go to this midpoint here, go over, and it's going to be 7.5. And then we're going to do the same thing over here off the midpoint. Okay. And now with those same line segments, you want to carry from this point up until it hits the intersection. It's going to snap to it. Same thing. All right. So now we have that in place. It's going to make our lives easier. All right. So it's going to make everything easier once we start extruding stuff. So let's go ahead and finish the sketch. And now here's the fun part. We're going to start cutting away and developing new bodies. So you go back into isometrics, click on that. Now you see you want to make sure that the faces we created, we can highlight. Okay, you see that? So let's go to extrude, click that, click this one, this profile, click this one, and we're going to just extrude all the way through. Okay, cut. Press OK, and there you have it. Now let's go to bodies, sketches, and we want to pull our sketch back up. Sometimes when you create new bodies, it'll get rid of the sketch. It'll just make it invisible. So you have to go back over to the drop down menu and click that and you'll get it back. So you want to do the same thing here. Oh, let's go to extrude first. We're going to click that. Okay. Going to click this one and we're going to cut through. Press OK. All right. So you see now the sketch is stayed. That's what we want. Now let's do this one first. This face here. Let's extrude. Now the dimension calls for 38 mils. So we want to extrude 38. Okay. Now let's do it as a new body. Press OK. There we go. That way we can manipulate the bodies if as necessary. Now this one, this face here, we're going to extrude towards us, but it's going to be 25 mil. You see that? You see how quickly we're developing these surfaces? So this one here, we want to do the same thing. This little face underneath the OD, we want to extrude, but we want to extrude to this face here because like I said, we're going to cut away. Make sure it's a new body. There it is. Press OK. All right. Now we're going to draw the ID, the inside dimension, inside diameter for this face here. So go ahead and click this. You see our highlights. Press create sketch, and it's going to let us draw on his face. But what we want to do is project. All right, so there we go. Now the same thing applies. You want to do a 2-point rectangle, right? And it's going to be the same as the other face here, right? It's going to be the same as how we did this one. So let's go back to top view. Click over. Oh, let's do construction lines. We don't need this to be solid lines. So 2-point rectangle, carry it from this point. The first dimension going up is going to be 25. The second one is going to be 19. Press enter. Same thing. Want to do the same thing over here. Let's see. First dimension going up 25. Going over 19. There we go. So now we've established the center points for our diameters. So let's turn off the construction line, center diameter circle, and we want to click there right at that intersection we created. And the same thing applies, 18 mil for the ID. All right, now let's go ahead and finish this sketch. Let's go to house. Right there, it's going to be for isometric, and we want to do the same thing. Click those faces and drag through. It's going to automatically cut through the material. That's what we want. All right, so we got a couple more steps. This one's a little tricky because, okay, the one thing with 3D design, you got to know when to use what tool, right? And we have several over here. If you go down to create, we have extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, stuff like that. And with these drawings, we're using the more, I guess, what I would consider, simple operations, right? Extrude is, we've been using that. We haven't used really revolve yet. Sweep, loft, we've used that. We want to use it for this part here, right? So in order to do that, we have to draw on this face. So go ahead and click on this face, create sketch. Now we want to do the same thing. We want to project, right? We want to project this face, this body. We're going to project this body. Okay, press OK. Now let's see. If you look closely, let's see if it'll let us do this right. Okay, good. So let's go back to the front. Now what we want to do is draw a line. All right, a solid line. It's going to go from this intersection here to this intersection here. Okay, press enter on your keyboard and it should be a face. Okay, let's see if we can do this right, because loft, if you're using a loft operation, gets a little tricky sometimes. So let's go to create loft and we want to cut away. Didn't do it right. Okay, let's see how we do this. Okay, all right, think we'll figure it out. So let's back up a bit. Let's draw another line segment here, and we're going to do it from this point and drag it down. Okay, press enter, finish sketch. All right, and let's go back and let's take out this line instead. Okay, finish. Nope, it's not gonna let us do it. So let's go here. Let's put that line segment back in. Okay, press enter. All right, loft. So it's carrying it from this line here. Okay. I see what happened. Okay, got it. So here's the trick. I just figured this out. Let's go back. We're gonna have to go back a couple steps. Just hit Control Z on your keyboard if you're using a Windows computer. I'll show y'all something. All right, let's go ahead and finish the sketch. We're gonna go back to that. Okay, we may have to start that a little bit over. Let's see. Yep, okay. All right, so you see on the timeline down here, let's go ahead and delete that sketch we just did where we did projections on his face. Let's back this face up to this face here, right? This IDOD. Make sure it's highlighted, extrude, and you just want to go back. It's going to cut away. All right. Now, what we have to do is create two bodies here, right? Because it's going to allow us to get the loft that we need. So you see this face meets up with this, right? But it's still its own body. What you want to do now is extrude, and you want to extrude this out to this face, but you want to do a new body. So you see how we created two bodies there? That's what we want. All right. Now, what we should be able to do is loft from this segment here to this segment right here. Okay. Let's see if it'll let us do it. Yep, it did. All right, so I'm gonna slow that down a bit. I'm gonna back up. So let's go to create, loft, and because this is its own entity, select this face and select this face. Press OK, and now we have a loft, right? Now, if you want to clean this up, you can join these two bodies again since we created our loft. So you go to combine, left click this one, left click that one, join, and boom. So now it's a little cleaner looking. For display purposes, you want to turn off your sketches. So just click the little eye, go into your isometric. You can screenshot this, do a screenshot of this or whatever. And we're done. That's the tutorial for part number 6. So I know it got a little tricky at the end of the tutorial dealing with that loft function, but like I said, it's a matter of just knowing when to use what. So I thank you all for joining in. Tune in for part 7. That's the next one. If you could, show me some love, like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support I can give, and I'll see you all next time.